Jeanette's talking about latkes. She didn't even make any and bring any down. It's really, really disappointing.
Okay, I was on the subway and I couldn't do it. I brought everything else though. Okay, I promise
I'll
make
one of these Hanukkah
yes,
gelts?
yes. And next time I'll make you latkes, okay?
Please.
From scratch, and I'll bring the applesauce and sour cream. Although I wasn't sure how I could do that on the train today.
I probably prefer the sour cream. I'm just letting you know.
But it depends on if you're eating meat or dairy product. So that we give it with sour cream or applesauce. And there's also, that's for the Ashkenazi custom, but if you're an Israeli or Sephardic custom, they eat the donuts, which are called sifganot, and they're jelly donuts.
Some Israelis will also put female bacon on the side with the latkes.
Is that true?
No.
That's a joke of some sort.
That is not true, but
It's a sub-Israeli culture.
or you can make your latkes with salami, or if you want, you can make it with lux in it too. It's good.
You can.
Different ways.
How's the gelt?
Tastes.
That's
fantastic.
chocolate gelt.
Is it money?
It's better than money.
It's better
Right.
than
See,
money.
I give you gelt. I give you gelt. Right. That's great. Anyway, let's get on with the segment because we're a little bit behind.
It's the magnetic marketing moment with your marketing magnet, Jeanette Burke.
Well,
Hi,
we
Jeanette.
got my logo there.
She's going to try and pull the
Okay.
logo up.
There we go. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, third Monday of every month, so it's the third Monday. Anyway, we're here today with Doron Levy, my special friend and retail marketing consultant who's going to share this segment with us on the topic of a marketing Christmas carol. It's all about the commercialization of Christmas and how did it get to be that
What's
way.
the deal?
What's
What
the
is
deal?
What is the deal?
Well, the deal is it actually started. You have to go have a brief history lesson here. I'm going to do it real quick.
Yeah, did it start in the 1800s?
It started before that.
Okay.
Okay.
All
It
right.
started because in the actual celebration of December 25th, it became a Christmas event, but it really started out in the Roman Empire and even before that with the Babylonians as a pagan holiday to worship the sun god and other deities like Isis. And what happened was Christianity started spreading rampant in the Roman Empire, and the Romans got afraid that they was going to take over. So they decided that they had to incorporate the pagan customs of the Yule Fest, which was also celebrated in Germany, Turkey, and parts of Eastern Europe like Russia, where the reindeers come from, and the story of Father Christmas, that they had to incorporate it to keep everybody happy. So that's why it became December 25th. And then what happened to add to the commercialization, if we just jump a little bit further, in the 1700s, an Austrian businessman started to create promotions to boost sales in an otherwise sluggish time. And he based it on the three wise men gift, right? Because the baby is born, the three wise men come with the gifts. And he based that whole promotion on the idea of giving gifts and bringing gifts to family and friends, which he tied in with the Turkish custom started by this bishop, St. Nicholas, where the St. Nick comes from, who was giving money to the poor. And that's how the whole gift giving thing. Now jump forward to the 1800s and you're in England, and England is adopting all these customs throughout Europe, but most customs they adopted were the Germanic customs and the Austrian customs.
Hence the Christmas tree.
Hence the Christmas tree came from the Tannenbaum is the name of the Christmas tree in Germany. The lights on the Christmas tree were actually started by Martin Luther.
He did that?
He did that because he came home one night and he saw the moon shining into his on his Christmas tree, and he thought it looked beautiful lit. So he then decided to put candles on it, and then that later became, well, it was part of the Yule Fest, which is the winter solstice fest, and some of those customs. He then had it signified that the lights would embrace the light of the God coming, the Son of God, right? So that's how that came to be. And then in the 1800s, or late 1700s, early 1800s, we're into the Victorian era, and we see the rise of Industrial Revolution and people becoming more and more secular. And this is actually documented in A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, all the influences that were going on. And that's when you see cards being created.
Right.
You see home decor coming into style, fashionable for the Christmas celebrations, and holiday parties coming into styles. vogue was the bells and the jingle bells and all these type of things that they didn't really use before that then became part of it. Because actually in the beginning of Christmas, and this whole thing about Ebenezer Scrooge ties into it, is that Christmas was actually outlawed because it was perceived to be a pagan holiday, and then it became so popular that people were first celebrating it sort of in secret and not closing down, and that's the whole thing about Ebenezer Scrooge and the oh humbug and all that, that it became so popular that they had to incorporate it in. And Hallmark got created in the United States in 1865, and that's when the card industry became huge for Christmas. So there's a lot of history behind it, and the commercialization is tied in with the Industrial Revolution and all that it provided, and the secularism. And it's just been going ever since then, and it's become more so. We get into the 1865 plus early 1900s where you have Coke, and that's where I'll let Doron step in.
All right, Doron. So we're up to the 1860s now.
Okay, so we're at the 1860s. Okay, in the late 1860s to early 1900s, early caricatures of what we consider Santa Claus were being drawn and submitted to newspapers, and what you'd have is magazines like the New York Post and Reader's Digest picking up these caricatures and actually using them as images of Santa Claus or Saint Nick. The other now what went in with Saint Nick was the coloring of his uniform, his costume, which was red and white. Coke in Atlanta adopted that as part of their marketing, and use that every holiday, every Christmas, every Christmas season. They use that image of Saint Nick to either sell more Coke and invoke that Christmas spirit that got people into the shopping mode. So Coke really took that Coca-Cola took the Santa Claus image and went with it, and actually, we've from what we understand about Santa Claus now, the way we look at it, it's because of the imagery used by Coke and the volume of it.
And actually, there's two other points to add in here. They actually changed the color of the uniform to make it more red. Mm-hmm. Not from like a cranberry or deep red, but more to a bright red.
Right. For
a couple of reasons. Bright red is a feeling of love.
Yes.
So that ties in with that Christmas spirit thing. And it was after that you start seeing the more advent of the cards led into Christmas carols, and it was all to evoke the feeling of it's the most wonderful time of the year, or any of these other
the Christmas spirit,
the Christmas spirit, and to get people into a mood to shop, to boost sales, because sales were sluggish, but also because this time of year we lack sun. And in northern countries where it's cold, predominantly cold, there's a lack of vitamin D, and it's been proven that lack of vitamin D produces feelings of depression, anxiety, and just general malaise. And that was part of the reason. It wasn't just their cold environment, and part of the reason was they had to motivate people to get out and have a reason to get out and spend and give. So they created the Santa Claus.
Thank goodness they did that,
yes.
Jeanette.
Made a lot of people billions of dollars, because the average person in Canada spends $1,800 on Christmas every year for gifts.
Wow.
Thank goodness for the economy.
That's what keeps the economy going.
Yeah.
So let's get into it a bit more. Why does it work?
Well, getting back to the Christmas spirit, you're right. Weather is one of those things that actually affects retail the most. I remember working in the field, and whenever you'd have a snowstorm, past the Christmas time, past the Christmas season, you would have, that would really affect how people shop, how people go out and shop. Really, the only way to get people out in this type of environment is to invoke that imagery and invoke that emotional attachment to have to buy gifts. The people getting people into the Christmas spirit is what gets them out of their house, into the malls, into the stores shopping. How do we do that? The decorations, the visual imagery that's associated with Christmas, Santa Claus, tinsel, the green trees, garland,
music, the
and
music.
music as well. I mean, you can't go into a mall now without listening to, or I think one of the radio stations in Toronto has gone all Christmas very early this year. And again, that gets people into that Christmas spirit.
And it's so funny because as a marketing tool, which it is, that decor and everything shows that it shows the consumer that the retail owner or the mall owner actually has a vested interest in trying to make the regular shopping experience, taking it from ordinary to extraordinary. It shows the consumer that they are putting a vested interest in decorating their stores and decorating the mall and getting you in. And the thing too about the music, it's kind of ironic that a lot of the music that was written as carols in that we associate with from like the 1930s on, took a change in tone from and lyric from, you know, the more traditional aspect of Christmas to the more shopping aspect of Christmas, starting with "You better not pout, because if you're naughty, you're not going to get any Christmas gifts." The most wonderful time of the year, silver bells, busy sidewalks. It all started to become reflective. The lyrics and the music started to become reflective of the whole shopping experience, which is kind of interesting, I think. What do you think?
Well, what I think, Jeanette, is have you been naughty this year?
Well, everyone has a little naughty in them, right? You know,
I want to know how naughty you've been.
Well, in my culture, which is the Jewish culture, we have the saying that there's two sides to everybody. The nice, good side, and then the evil inclination side that we must fight, okay? Which is part and parcel of the naughty that we speak of at Christmas time. Now, I'm mostly good, and I think you know that.
Yes.
But I do like to have my fun.
Do you?
And I think everybody has a little bit of the Saint Nick in them, you know?
Okay.
And I don't think it should be a punishment that, you know, you should be like, oh, you're not going to get anything from Santa this year, or you're going to get coal in your stocking because...
I was just going to say, are you getting coal or are you getting a Zuzu pet this year?
Well, I don't typically get a lot.
Yeah, a Zuzu pet.
A Zuzu pet?
What's a Zuzu pet?
Oh, Zuzu pet. Oh, that's like the hottest thing now for kids. Any kid 6 to 12. They're these little electronic hamsters. That like bounce around and they can communicate with each other. There's a website. So
when you said that, I didn't know what you were talking about.
I didn't
was
know
thinking
either.
about, you know, that movie, you know, It's a Wonderful Life, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
That Zuzu pedals. He puts the pedals
Right.
in
Right.
Oh, so there's
pocket.
another marketing thing. They took it
Yeah.
from the movie and they called it Zuzu,
Zuzu
Pet.
pets. Yeah. So maybe that's the association, right?
Actually, I don't think I'll be getting anything for Christmas because I actually don't celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah, and I did get some nice Hanukkah. We don't give gifts. Not every Jewish person gives gifts for Hanukkah. It's more customary to give money,
Right.
or Geld. Geld is the Yiddish or German word for money, and I already got my money, so I'm not getting any more. But I love giving Christmas gifts, and I love the whole. And I think this is apropos because I love what the feeling of Christmas it brings. I love the colors. I love the decor. I love the lights. And I noticed actually, even just the other day, like I fall privy to the sales because I love shopping, and I always want to get the best possible price.
No, I don't believe that you
And
love
I was
shopping.
in the store the other day, and the music's going in the background, and I'm singing along, and I'm swaying along, and I'm thinking, boy, this is having a really good effect on me.
If I could just, you know what, that's the equivalent of retail waterboarding. Okay, that's what it is. I mean, the Christmas spirit, that feeling, everybody gets that feeling when they go into a retail establishment, and any retailer that doesn't absorb that Christmas spirit or take into account that Christmas spirit is really losing out. So.
And you know what, the thing is, I really do believe that spending equals joy equals happiness. Maybe it shouldn't be that way, but I think we have ingrained that. Again, part of our culture and the way we live in today's world is that we've become very materialistic, and we do equate money with happiness, and sometimes gifts with happiness. Not that it should be that way, because it's been proven that that's an artificial way to go. But I have to tell you, when I was in the store the other day getting into this and start singing and swaying, and you know what? More and more stuff went in my hand.
Okay, so they did their job then.
They did their job, and I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm like, because you know, you see this for like half this, and this is even before the Boxing Day sales, and I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? I had to stop because honestly, you don't even realize how much you're spending. You know, you really don't. And then I looked at it and I thought, okay, whoa, I'm falling privy, because I realized after I had a conversation with you, I am totally falling privy to this inventory clearance thing that, you know, I'm put all this stuff in my hand. You think you're saving a ton of money, but in the end, you might be saving some, but in the end, like, you're spending so much, and I had to put the brakes on because.
Well, you're one of the lucky ones that was able to do that.
You know, because I had an epiphany of the credit card receipt that bill was going to come afterwards, and I thought, I better stop myself before I have a tendency to go out of control with the shopping, right? So I have to stop it.
So I'm still in shock that you have a problem with shopping. I don't.
Yes,
it
doesn't seem like you somehow, Jeanette.
Well, I blame it on my parents, you know, because unfortunately I grew up in the retail business, so promotion was my life, and definitely this time of year, I'm sure you can relate to that.
Right.
And my mother was a shopaholic and a makeup artist, so she put that on me too. And, you know, and she always took me shopping. Like, that was what she did. Like, you know, whether we went to Florida, like we used to go to Florida over the Christmas break or whatever, all we did was shop. Shop, shop, shop. That was like our activity.
That's perfect. You're the perfect
Princess, yes.
Christmas consumer.
Yes.
Okay, how
But
much?
I'm not.
What else do we need to talk about? It's the
Well,
magnetic marketing moment.
Yes,
What else?
we have to talk about the fact that this became the retail shopping holiday, the
Right.
shopping event. So
Yeah.
take it away.
Well, again, it was. You know, the weather gets worse. People are in less of a mode to shop. How do you get people into stores? Well, you build up excitement. You get people wanting to go into stores, and you do that with you know, exciting products, trendy products, and also the decor, the excitement of Christmas. That's how you get people in that shopping mode. And Jeanette, you were saying that you were in the store and the music's blaring and there's decorations everywhere and there's sale signs everywhere and there's
You feel
product.
so good.
It's,
you know?
well, spending money actually, I believe it releases a chemical in your brain that you know that
it's an endorphin.
That's what
endorphin
happened to
type,
you,
yeah.
Jeanette. You had endorphins happening in your brain.
endorphin overload. Yeah.
And you know what? As a woman, I have to tell you, and I think this is true for other women, that it is a chemical release, and for some reason, it brings so much satisfaction. It just does.
Well,
it's like amazing feeling.
a retailer who positions themselves correctly can capitalize on that
And
capitalize
position it to
on
women.
yeah, especially, and that works really well in the apparel industry. That's what they really want to do is get you thinking about shopping and get you thinking about making buying decisions and not think about anything else. Their goal, the retailer's goal when you walk in the store, is to not think about anything else about your finances, your house, any other, your job, any other problem that you have in your life. It's only to get you in there and thinking about how low prices are, what kind of value you're getting, what type of products you're buying, just to get that basket full. That's their job when you get into the store. So with Christmas, they have that opportunity to jazz it up and really make the stimuli more effective towards buying more products and picking up more products.
And so how did it spill into like the Black Friday sales in the U.S. and the Boxing Day sales in Canada?
Well, Black Friday is the launch, is basically the retailer's launch towards the Christmas season. And again, that day was created to bring in more people into the store. Now, what any retailer wants to do is they want the customer to pay full price up until Christmas, and then anything that's left over after Christmas is sold at a quote-unquote discount, which is why we have Boxing Day in Canada. Most retailers, a good retailer will position themselves so that they don't have any inventory left by the time Boxing Day rolls around. So Black Friday, that's the launch. That's the real kick to Christmas. And in terms of finding value and deals, that you may find good products at really good prices, but limited quantity is usually what you're looking at.
That's why people get trampled to death on Black Friday.
Yes, exactly. Last year there was an issue at a major mass merchandiser where
Isn't it every year somebody?
There's always
people
some
get
problem.
trampled.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
is the goal really, like, it's not really so much inventory clear out is one goal, but is the goal for that or really to boost the profit margin?
It's to boost profit margin because you want to get people into the store. Let's say a retailer is selling a 50-inch plasma screen for $500. there's only going to be so many units available, but you're still getting people into the store trying to seek that bargain.
And they're going to buy other stuff.
They're going to, even if they pick up a pack of batteries at, let's
Yeah.
say, an electronics store, they're still making margin off that customer. Boxing Day, same thing. It was really created just to clear out old inventory and get products out of there.
Get set up for the new year too.
And-
Get,
well,
clear the
yeah.
inventory.
Especially in the apparel industry, you'd like to get rid of all the old stuff. And
Because the spring merchandise is going to be shipped in February.
Exactly. Well, they may still be sitting on spring merchandise by Christmas time. So when you see these Boxing Day sales of like 50, 75% off, you're usually looking at merchandise that's, open box, maybe it's season behind. You're not going to get an iPod at 50% off on Boxing Day.
No,
you're not. You're never going to find trendy in-demand products at crazy discounts on Boxing
But now
Day.
they're talking about they're having the a lot of these big discounts are happening before Christmas.
Yes.
Even. And what is that? Just a sign of the times? Or?
Well, it's to boost up volume. I mean, the last couple of years with the economy have been very tough on retail. This year was probably the most aggressive, I would say, in terms of selling features and promos. You had Black Friday and Cyber Monday in the States, which is now has evolved into its own online shopping day. Cyber Monday is like the Black Friday for just people buying online. So you'd see Amazon and all these big online stores having huge, crazy discounts. But again, limited quantity, just to get people into the store, just to get people browsing the sites. You really hope as a merchant that they pick up something that's not on sale. That's really what the goal is for.
Do you think there's pressure on Canadian retailers to compete with the United States because they do it first? They do the Black Friday first, rather, they don't have a Boxing Day in the States. They go back to work right after Christmas.
Right.
So do you think that puts a lot of pressure on the Canadian retailer?
It does, especially with the online component, because now we can shop all these U.S. retailers online. So any U.S. retailer that's having a huge Cyber Monday sale, chances are they're not, on Cyber Monday, nobody's going out shopping in Canada because everybody's online, shopping the U.S. sites.
And also because our dollar is almost on par now.
It makes sense to drive down to Buffalo and take advantage of those huge sales that they do have on Black Friday.
Don't forget your passport.
Do you think
Yes.
that the Americans are better retailers, better marketers than Canadians overall?
I think there's more competition in the U.S. and that's what really brings out cutting edge innovation in retail. In Canada, we really do suffer from our density. That our demographics is our problem. So, U.S. more competition. You're going to get more innovation. You're going to get people that are more competitive. In Canada, the pressure is mounting though because of the accessibility to U.S. retailers now.
I think our prices have gotten closer to the U.S. prices over the last.
For retail goods
10,
in terms of
20
electronics,
years.
If you're buying a computer or anything like that, you're not going to find any deals in the States.
No.
You're probably going to
better off here.
You're
Probably
better
have
off
a
here.
car here too. It's probably a better deal in
For
Canada.
vehicles?
Yeah.
For mid-size and lower, yeah. I heard luxury vehicles though are still considerably cheaper in the States at MSRP.
Yes,
so,
totally.
yeah.
Like Mercedes, for example, fully loaded, it's a completely different price point in the United States than here.
Boy,
And
you
again,
know.
it's because of competition. You might have like 4 Mercedes-Benz dealerships in one neighborhood.
I think also what we can learn from the Americans, because this is a marketing segment, is they are very good at packaging and promotion, and they treat retail and marketing like a profession more so than we do in Canada.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a lesson to be learned from that because because of the competition, they have to be more creative in their approaches.
Right.
And they are very good at packaging, giving the bonus, giving the added value, and all of that, which is important.
Got to hand it to those Americans.
Yes,
Think
we do.
about how many companies actually still continue to survive even though they were doing badly in Canada, like Eaton's and Woolco. They were just doing badly for so many years, yet they were still able to hang on only because there was nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
But they're gone now.
They're gone eventually. In the States, there's so many retailers have gone under because they weren't being competitive. There's really no chance for survival. You really have to be on that cutting edge.
And I think what's really cool about is that although this whole Christmas, the marketing of Christmas started in the retail segment, it has so spilled into other areas that we can also learn from as business people. Like, for example, the whole thing with the charities, it's a big marketing time for charities too, for donations.
Yeah.
Or the fact that if you don't give a Hanukkah or a Christmas gift to your employees as well as your family and friends, you're considered that they're, it looks very bad on you. You really are perceived as the Scrooge.
It's socially acceptable now, socially required almost to give some sort of gift.
And that's also through, this whole thing about the Christmas Carol, how it spun out, and how we learned from marketing from that too. And then the last thing that I thought was really cool, because I think we have to move on, is that just the influence in terms of the marketing for the banks, right? Because it's not just about gifts and that. It's also about the fact that we're encouraged to use our plastic in any form and get loyalty points for it.
Right.
Somebody's got to be Scrooge. Might as well be the banks. Just kidding.
Well,
Banks
they
are great.
encourage you to spend, because you get, if you use the plastic, and actually there's stats that show that people do not use cash. They want to use the plastic either to get loyalty points, trip points, whatever, and that's marketing from the bank.
Well, your basket or per transaction will always be bigger with a credit card customer. So retailers want you to use credit cards as well,
sure.
because you don't feel the money actually. Again, it's that psychological
Doesn't hurt.
the attachment. Yeah,
When
you
you
don't
pull
feel
that
the money.
cash out,
And it's the same with the debit card, which was also a marketing scheme.
Yeah, credit card customers will definitely spend more than cash or debit customers.
It's kind of like getting stuff for free.
Yeah.
It feels like it. Yeah, the psychology's there. Yeah, definitely.
Well, we've presented a marketing Christmas Carol, and I hope that the viewers from this segment can take some of the tradition, the role model of the retailer and how it's built into other areas, and either adapt some of it to their business or use it when packaging and
Absolutely.
because this is all about packaging.
Get your
promotion.
customers and clients into the Christmas spirit, and they will spend.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
I
fantastic.
think that's cool. Okay.
Great. Now, before we go, we should give your website, Doron.
Website's under construction, but if you need to reach us, you can reach us at info@switzerconsulting.com. We provide consulting for medium to small size business. We're sort of the on-site people. We have a great team of a lot of expertise in different areas. So if you are a small or medium-sized business looking to grow, looking to market, looking to develop your business, definitely contact us. info@switzerconsulting.com.
All right.
Okay, and I am Jeanette Burke, your marketing magnet. My website is www.yourmarketingmagnet.com. I predominantly work with women entrepreneurs, teaching them how to successfully market, publicize, promote, and grow their dream business. And what I have for the Christmas season is I created gift certificates for any of my coaching packages. You can get $100 prepaid, or you can put it towards a package with the holiday gift certificate. And I have the giveaway today for the first caller in at $300 value. That's about a 2-hour coaching session to blueprint your whole marketing plan for the 2011 year, and make 2011 your best year yet.
All right. Fantastic, Jeanette.
So what's the call-in number here?
416-204-9723.
Okay, great. And we'll be back in a moment with Anatoly and Anatoly Melchek and Michelle Romanoff of Bytopia.
Bytopia. We'll be right back. Liquid Lunch, that
Thanks.
channel.com.